From the Podcast Detroit studios and Zoom everywhere else, The Making of Champions. Professional boxers inspiring amateur athletes to become champions. Presented by Joe Louis, champion of them all bourbon, in association with USA Boxing, Golden Gloves of America, and BigFightWeekend.com. Join your hosts, Tonya Cole and Marquis Johns, with special guests from around the world of amateur and pro boxing, celebrating the legacy of Joe Louis, whose status as the first African-American national hero showed the importance of being a leader and a role model inside and outside of the ring.
Thank you for joining us tonight on The Making of Champions. When I was doing my research for our guest for tonight, he pretty much wrote his own intro. I went to war overseas, lost a child, suffered from PTSD, clinical depression, and a parent of autistic children. An opponent across the ring is the least of my worries. Boxing is therapeutic. With me tonight, I also have Marquis Johns, my co-host and senior writer of Big Fight Weekend. Marquis, I know you've been excited about our guest tonight. Please introduce him and tell us a little bit about him.
Absolutely, Tonya. Thanks for having me on as always. And we are joined on the Making of Champions podcast with a champion himself, the current reigning, defending WBO Jr. lightweight champion of the world, Jamel Semper Fi Herring. Let's do that correctly. Jamel Semper Fi Herring. Jamel, how's it going, man?
Everything's going good. Thanks for having me. I'm just in a really good place now. Like I feel great. Like I said, I'm just happy to be here, and it's always good speaking with you, man.
Absolutely, Jamel. And let me start from there first thing first, man. Last time I talked to you on the record, man, I wrote a piece for you for Big Fight Weekend about you being the reigning defending champion, 365 days and counting. Your last in action against Jonathan Okendo, you retained via disqualification. Right. So the belt hasn't left anywhere, man. How's it feel?
I mean, it feels great to be a champion, but like I said, from the last performance, I feel like I'm on a redemption trail, because we all know I've been through a lot, but people tend to forget, like, I had to fight off COVID-19.
That's what I wanted to know about.
Yeah, and then being a champion, I still wanted to go through with the fight, but I've, like I said, that the virus was technically still new, so we didn't know the ups and downs completely about the virus. So I still was feeling a bit of the side effects even when I performed, and then it kind of, and like I said, it just kind of wore me down. And then on top of that, I was fighting a guy that was constantly headbutting, dirty tactics. But then, even though I was winning on all three cards. People had their fair share of negativity. But like I said, I know what was the issues behind everything. Like I said, the main factor was the whole COVID-19 situation. But right now I'm in a good place because I feel 10 times better than I did a few months ago. Also, people also forget that because of the when I had caught the virus, the fight was always getting pushed back. But I stayed in camp, so I was in camp for like literally 5 months for one fight. So that does a lot of wear and tear on your body. But like I said, it just makes for a great story in the end after I get back in the ring and do what I'm known or expected to do in terms of my next opponent.
Absolutely, Jamel. Let me follow with that, actually. Sorry, Tonya.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, your next one is still slated as of this recording here. Is still Carl Frampton over out in Ireland. As we all know, Jamel, the UK has been kind of closed out and locked off to everybody. You're not overseas right now. So you have any update on that? Or because it's supposed to happen in about a month from now, and I don't think that's happening. So
yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Technically, I'm scheduled to fight Frampton in London. Right now, sometime at the end of February. So they told me when I spoke with my advisors at MTK Global, they told me just to continue on the schedule that I've been on. And, hopefully the thing will be cleared up with their situation at least by sometime in the beginning of February. We all seen that at least for January, boxing has been shut down. And it's crazy, it's ironic because I was originally supposed to fight Frampton January 16th. So, it's kind of a blessing in disguise that didn't happen, because I'd have been like pretty much done with camp. And then boom, I'd have been smacked with another postponement. So right now they told me just to continue training and focusing on as the data as we normally had it scheduled, and just go from there.
So I know that you had the 2-time delay with the previous fight. You
Right.
said you're doing much better. You're feeling much better. So you're not feeling any side effects whatsoever from
Oh
COVID?
no. I mean, even
Okay.
when I fought the last time, I was telling somebody recently, I still had the lingering cough, and I
Mhm.
actually thought like that was never gonna go away because it's like I tested negative, but I still had like a bit of the side effects still
Right.
lingering in my body, and I'm thinking like, man, this cough is never gonna go away, and that's what prompted me to thinking that if I wouldn't be able to perform the same, that maybe it should be time for me just to like exit the game, but over time, when I went home just to actually relax and just focus on other things other than boxing, it just gave me a peace of mind. And then I got that hunger again. And then when I jumped back into the gym, my trainers, they were impressed how well I was performing because, I just looked like I just had like a new sense of urgency and like another whole motivation because I know how big this fight is to me at least. So I feel great, and I'm just glad that I'm healthy first and foremost because, like I said, I've known people personally that lost their lives
Mhm.
due to the virus. I've known friends that lost relatives as well due to the virus. So just for me to say that I got through that, and I'm still able to do what I love today, says a lot.
It certainly does. I've looked at those videos on Twitter, and you're a beast on there. It doesn't even look as if you had a cold, let alone COVID.
That was the right hook, Jamel. I said the left hand.
I want to kind of segue. Did you want to comment on that?
No, I just want.
Because people are all going to go. They're all going to go look it up now.
I just hope I can, like I said, continue that, continue that process throughout this whole camp without any setbacks and like you point out, no more setbacks just from the date alone. But I just want to remain healthy and strong throughout the whole way.
Okay. You pulled out this word negativity, and I know this is a lot about you in terms of doing my research. How do you embrace negativity, and how do you change that paradigm and turn that around to be your motivation?
I always say that I was an underdog since day one, especially where I come from, out in Long Island, New York. Where I'm from in Gordon Heights, not many. We're not known for not too many role models because you always have. I came up with guys that that went on the wrong path and did things from selling drugs to even like murder and like losing or being killed from dealing with the streets. But for me, I look at it like this. I've been in like when I was young, a lot of people don't know I was in the foster care at one point in time. I used to be bullied when I was younger at a point in time in my life. So it's like I've been through the worst. It's like it's not too many things you can really throw at me, and instead of me getting upset and and prove and when doubters say certain things, you want to prove them wrong. So for me, it was just like I take that negativity and turn it into motivation. Like for instance, I wasn't expected to win the world title. They had a set where Masayuki was supposed to have a unification with Miguel Berchelt. I came in and I ruined those plans, and I'm thinking that again they thought I wouldn't win that fight, so I was willing to step up again and prove them wrong when I did win the title and was hoping to face Miguel Berchelt. But then they had that side had many excuses on why the fight wasn't made, and I just looked at it when you sit back and look at things, you look at it as you wasn't expected to win to begin with. He wasn't there when he jumped in the ring. He wasn't there for you. He was there to make the fight with Ito. So when I had ruined those plans, it was like, oh damn, all right, well I'm here. I gotta make it sound like I want the winner. But in reality, I wasn't supposed to win that fight. And then again, when I came across Lamont Roach, they threw the whole, well, he's the younger fighter, the fresher fighter, and we came on top of in that fight. So I don't get upset, because when you show that you're mad about and angry about things, you're letting them win. You're letting them get to you. You're letting them get under your skin. And plus, being a U.S. Marine, you gotta have thick skin. So, like I said, I've been through worse. And like you pointed out earlier, boxing for me is just, is just therapeutic, and it's just like something that I love to do.
Absolutely, Jamel. Actually, let me take you back to that time we won the title, because I was on hand with you at Kissimmee at the Osceola Heritage Sports Complex. Just walk me back for that fight, because going into that fight, I remember seeing you at the weigh-in, wishing you good luck as well with this. At that weigh-in, you were listed, I want to say gambling-wise, because I'm not a gambler, but I think you're a 2-1 underdog against Ito to win that fight, to lose that fight. So, because he was favored. Just walk me back to the game plan of that fight, because you won pretty much very handily and pretty much by wide decision to become the champ that you are now currently.
Yeah, for me, it's just crazy. I never forget my trainer, Brian McIntyre. I never forget. He was doing commentary for ESPN and Top Rank at one point. I never forget. This is a true story.
Yeah.
Where I'm sitting at right now, he comes through that door, and where I'm in Colorado Springs, comes through the door. He's like, "Hey, they think that you're not going to win this fight, so you get serious, bite down on everything, and just focus." And like that right there was just like motivation. And I never forget his look. Like because he was really upset. I mean, he had been really upset, because like I said, he flew back from where he was at, to here to let me know that. But I just took it as motivation, because I knew I look at it like this, like I had nothing to lose, but I had everything to gain. So it wasn't like there was a whole lot of pressure on me. Even now, like I said, people still think that I just get by, but so I don't have that pressure like sometimes in terms of like a guy like a Floyd Mayweather, who's now at one point in time just expected to win or expected to look phenomenal in each thing. But going to the Ito fight, they just told me just to take each round one at a time. That's why even when he rallied up in those mid rounds, I just stayed cool and calm and collected, because I knew what we trained for. We had the game plan, and we knew how to execute that game plan just one round at a time, just one round at a time. We wasn't thinking too far ahead. So and then you could tell from the body language that he was falling behind. He was getting real desperate, and that's when we know, okay, now he's definitely falling into what we expected. He's gonna get wild. He's gonna try to come with everything, but you got to just stay calm under pressure. So that's what I took from that fight. And as you seen, like, I mean, not only did I win, but like you pointed out, I won by like wide margins where people just didn't think was even possible. But hey, I mean, that was then, and I just determined that I wasn't going to end my story there, because during the build-up, the whole thing was, well, he's been through so much tragedy in life. At least we could say in the end he got his chance to fight for a world title. But I was like, no, that's not going to be my story. My story is going to continue to go on after I win the world title. So that's what I took from that fight.
Well, tell me about the fight with Lamont Roach, because we had him on this show, and he had nothing but much respect for you. And I know you talked about this past fight being wild and sometimes not planned. You described the fight with him as being more chess-like because he's a counterpuncher. So go through that fight with us.
Yeah, and it's crazy because much respect to Lamont Roach. Like, I've known Lamont for over a decade.
He said you guys were 13 when he met you.
Yeah, he was young. He was but he was real young. But Lamont's always been a cool guy. It was funny because that's probably actually the first time in my career where I had to basically say I had to come across fighting a friend. Because usually, you know how it goes. Usually, you fight an opponent, you don't know nothing about him. You go in there and the business. But like, I've known Lamont so long, and we knew so much about each other because, like I said, we sparred each other over the years and things of that nature. Yeah. So I knew it was going to come down to where he's going to expect for me to do certain things, and vice versa. So that's why I mentioned that it was going to be a chess match. But it was a good fight. Like I said, I give him credit. He in the 11th round, he caught me with a good shot. And then, it buzzed me, but, like a real fighter and a champion, you got to bite down and recover and, and just roll with the punches, literally. But I have nothing but respect for Lamont. I actually want to see him, fulfill his goal and dream in becoming a world champion.
your father is definitely part of this, and he has stepped in and played a fundamental role in your training. What has your father's influence been on you, and how has that been influential in terms of you being the champion that you are today?
Well, my dad has a hell of an influence on me. He's like Superman to me. And not only because the things he does for me, but the things he does for others as well. But they don't come from a complete home like me. And that's how I kind of know what it feels like, to share that experience through all my friends, because I grew up with them day in and day out, sleeping over their house. I talk to them every day and stuff like that. When they come over our house, my dad is like stepping in, or not stepping in, but that's how they look at him, as, a father figure.
And, go and just doing great things in his career, because I look at it like this: the more successful he is in his future, it looks better on my resume. It's like, it's like, you didn't fight just at anybody. You fought a guy who actually, later on became, not only a world champion, but a good, maybe even great world champion in his own right. So, like I said, and the same thing goes for Ito. I said the same thing. I had his coach, Rudy Hernandez. I'm real cool with Rudy, and I told Rudy, hey, I wish Ito nothing but success, and I want to see him continue to do great things. I know recently he just suffered a defeat, I think, in Japan. Yeah. But like I said, Ito was still he's still a good fighter in my opinion, and I just was the best for him. I'm not the type of guy who after I beat somebody, oh, they're a bum, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't feel like I have to do that, because in the end I got the win. So like, why should I have to degrade anyone or disrespect anybody in the game?
Right. Speaking on friends, you talked about friends. You spent quite a bit of time in Colorado, not only for recent training, but for your Olympic training. And we've had Clay Collard on the show, and I've noticed him in some of your pictures. Tell us about your camaraderie there with Clay Collard. I'm interested in knowing that.
Clay Collard? I'm trying to figure out me, because Marquis, I take pictures of everybody, but I'm like, I know Clay has, I know he's fought one of my good friends from Cincinnati, Ohio, Krayshawn Tola. And me, I'm a student of the game, and I always I don't overlook anybody, especially when you have something higher at stakes. You gotta take everything seriously. Especially me being a world champion. If you give anybody an opportunity, they're gonna probably bring their best game for in that fight. But for Clay, man, I feel like the dude basically, he really had a Cinderella story just in 2020 alone, because like I said, he was coming in. If you look like Marquis can tell you, if you look at it, he was coming in a lot of those fights as the opponent, as the B side. But
he was the B side.
Yeah, but he wasn't he wasn't just upsetting them, upsetting these guys. He's beating a lot of these guys fairly clear. There was no denial that he won these fights. But I give him a lot of love and respect, because I know how it feels to be the underdog or the B side and counted out. Even if being a U.S. Olympian, I still been counted out. But like I said, I hope he has a great 2021. I would like to see him bounce back. I hope that they didn't just use him around just for the whole gimmick thing. But like you say, if he really takes his career serious, I think he can really do some damage, because like I say, if you look, he's a real strong guy. He may not have the best technique, but he has a big heart, and he's really strong.
Now, I know you tweeted recently, you said, and now everybody is slowly jumping off the Clay train. Was it Clay Collard? Is that who you were talking about?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And we just wanted to know about that. And it's interesting, you talked about sort of those notions of if you were to beat somebody and then say, oh, you ain't nothing now. Talk to us a little bit about that and how that ties into sort of your philosophy of life and your motto, and how you live life as a Marine.
Oh, yeah. Boxing is a cruel sport at times. It's like they said, is the loneliest sport, and I really believe that, because, like I said, for Clay, look at it from January 2020 till the end of the year. Everybody was on the Clay train. They're rooting for him, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, because this guy, he didn't have the most polished record, but here he was. He was beating undefeated prospects that, you know, that were supposed to be, you know, coming up and doing something great. And, you know, he was not, more importantly, he was bringing excitement and action to those fights. And then the minute, you know what I'm saying, the minute he loses, look how they reacted. You know, you didn't see too many tough break play, but we know you can bounce back. And then it was just like, when it was done, it was done. So, like, and I take that as from just in like what I've been told. Boxing is a small window. You know, when you have the opportunity, you gotta take a shot, because when your day is done, they'll be looking at the next Jamel Herring or whoever and such. And it's true, but that's why I try to stay positive throughout everything, because I feel like you know, at the end of the day, yes, I love people who respect me for what I do in the ring, but I'd rather be remembered for what I do outside of the ring. So I always try to keep a clean character and good personality, because people are going to remember you more for what you did, you know, life after boxing. I mean, look at Ali. I mean, he was loved and adored to his last days here with us, you know. And people, we respect him for what he did in the ring, but what do we know? What is he really known for? For him standing up for his beliefs, and, you know, how he treated people outside of the ring, how kind-hearted he was, and, you know, he even through his own, you know, going through Parkinson's disease, he still had a big heart. He still had a funny personality, and people just loved that. And it's crazy because at one point in time, we could probably say he was probably the most hated individual in America back when he was younger. But over time, he was probably one of the most adored, not athletes, but just, you know, figures in our lifetime. And he, like I said, we're still talking about him in high honors today.
Mm-hmm. It sounds a lot like our Joe Louis, right, Marquis?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to stop you right there.
Go ahead.
More with Jamel Herring. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Probably one of the best feelings in the world. You know, I actually can be home and experience, you know, what I felt was a blessing coming into the world.
Then came the night of July 27th.
I remember hearing her mother screaming upstairs, and I went to go check. I thought I wasn't breathing.
Well, let's say hello to senior writer, BigFightWeekend.com, Marquis John.
We're back with Jamel Herring and Marquis Johns. Marquis, what do you have? I know you've got some more questions for us.
Absolutely, Jamel. I can't go without asking this question for you. I see you rocking the Yankees hat. I'll let that go for the time being. But the Team USA sweatshirt you're wearing right now. The Olympics are coming up sooner or later. Tell me about your experience with the Olympics, man.
Oh man, like, you know what? Like, we are, like, let's put it out there. We are probably known for maybe having the most, as they say, the worst team in terms of history. Yeah. But you know, like for me,
the Redeem team.
Yeah, pretty much, because, you know, I was actually one of the team captains of that team, and, you know, even though we was going through our issues with the team, I never forget that I always attended each and every one of those individuals' fights to the very end, because that's what's expected of a Marine first and foremost, and a true leader. And it's crazy. We're in 2021 now, and I can still say that I still speak to each and every one of those individuals as a real leader today, because that's just what real people do. And but, you know, my experience, it was great actually being over there, because the Olympic ceremony, the day of the Olympic ceremony, opening ceremony, was the same. It would have been the anniversary of my daughter's passing. So, like, you know, just for me to even get there, you know, like, again, I wasn't expected to even become an Olympian at the time, because, like, we had so many great amateurs in the system around that time, and I wasn't expected to really, you know, get far or even qualify for the Olympics. But, you know, to get there and representing her honor was like maybe one of the greatest moments of my life. And if you really...
Jamel Herring belongs to a generation accustomed to war. He enlisted in the Marines in 2003. At 17, he was already an amateur fighter, but soon to learn that real peril is what you can't see.
Me being a gunner, I was more concerned of sniper fire. That was my biggest thing. That was my biggest thing. Whenever we got stopped, you know, I felt like I was always sitting duck because I'm on top of a Humvee. Hey, we're trying to position you. I seen in one of my Humvees hit a pressure plate, and when the explosion hit, it split the whole part of the Humvee.
We have friendlies to the north.
How many guys do you remember losing?
I can't even tell you, but one Marine always sticks out to me to this day. He was an EOD technician, like basically what you call a bomb squad. He was telling us that he had a 2-week-old son. Maybe like a week later, he got killed by the explosion. And that like really triggered something in me because I was expecting my first son.
After a second tour in Iraq, Herring came home in 2007. Though he had missed the birth of his first child, he'd be there for the second, a girl named Ariana, born May 25th, Memorial Day, 2009.
Probably one of the best feelings in the world. You know, I actually can be home and experience, you know, what I felt was a blessing coming into the world.
Then came the night of July 27th.
I remember hearing her mother screaming upstairs, and I went to go check. My daughter wasn't breathing. She's not responding. She's not moving. I took my daughter out the crib. I let her forget. I laid her on the bed. I tried to give her CPR. I couldn't get nothing.
What happened?
She had passed away from SIDS. At that point in time, that's when I really wanted to give up on everything, including boxing.
Really pay attention to what I do right now in the professional rankings. I always have her name on my trunks, and you know, even in like because of her, when I like go through times when I'm feeling down or if I feel like I'm not doing what I need to be doing, I always think about you know, well, how would she react if she see me doing this? So that gets me right back on the right track that I need to belong on. But yeah, I mean, I love all those guys and women. Shout out to Clarissa Shields and Marlena Esparza and Queen Underwood. Those are my sisters. You know, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. You know, we like, you know, for the most part, if you look at it, when you dissect the team, majority of those individuals either won world titles or fought for world titles. So it was definitely like it may not have been the dream team, but like you pointed out, it was definitely the regime, team for real. So yeah, shout out to the individuals. And like I said, I still speak with each and every one of them. Like and like we all know, right now I get to train alongside my you know, my brother Terrence Bud Crawford. But you know, I still have a healthy relationship with guys like, you know, Errol Spence and guys like that also. So like for me, I try to keep boxing as a sport. And I don't like to get into the whole, I gotta pick this side or that side. You know, if you give me respect, I give that same respect back to you. And even now, like I said, with the Team USA thing, with winning the sweatshirt, this came from USA Boxing because I still have a healthy relationship with USA Boxing. If you notice, a lot of pros, once they move on to the professional rankings, they don't really give back or support the amateur system. And I'm pretty sure we all see that. Like for me. Yeah. I go to the tournaments. You know what I'm saying? I go down and speak with the younger generation because I want to see, you know, future champions, and I want to see them fulfill their dreams and maybe surpass me. What have I done? So everything I've been doing so far. So that's just who I am. And like I said, it goes to say again, people are gonna remember you for what you did outside of your own career. And like I said, I'm just here to continue supporting the USA Boxing program. I want to see them back on top. 2016, the team did a great job. You know, they got some medals over there with like guys like Shakur Stevenson. So like I said, it's just great to see the program still flourish and develop future world champions.
You know, we've had Joseph Hicks Jr. on this show as well, the current coach and captain for the team. And I'm so glad to hear you talk about support of USA Boxing, right, because $1 from every bottle sold of Joe Louis bourbon goes to those programs. So we appreciate that support more than you know. Right. More than Thank you know. I know you talked about being in the London Olympics and that coinciding with the anniversary of your daughter's ascension. she also kind of intersected with you when you got that WBO Junior lightweight title on what would have been her 10th birthday.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that she's of course, always with you because her name's on your trunks.
Right.
How does she watch over you? What do you think she says to you?
Like I said, I have sometimes like I have a guilty conscience at times. I'm thinking like, you know what, I shouldn't be doing this because it doesn't look good, or I shouldn't say this, or I shouldn't react to this because she wouldn't want to see her father, react in a negative light. But like I always think about not just myself, but like what others have gone through as well. There's people out there, and a lot of people don't know. I went down to visit veterans who suffer for things like myself, like PTSD or worse, and I feel like it's the right thing for me to do as an individual to like show people like the real side of me. Like, okay, you may see me on TV, but at the end of the day, I'm still a human being, just like such as yourself. So I go down and speak with these guys and I listen. Yeah, I said I'm a world champion, but I had to fight my own demons as well. But it doesn't mean that it was the end. That doesn't mean that it's over because I may be down today, but that doesn't mean that I don't have the ability to rise up tomorrow. And and I've lost friends in my military throughout my military career from like depression and things of that nature. So if I can save at least one life, I'm happy with that. But that just goes to show how I was brought up and raised. My mother always told me, no matter what, don't let anything change you, and always remain humble. I've been at the lows. I've been down and out. I've lost loved ones. My best friend who got me to join the Marine Corps, he had passed away at the age of 20 from cancer. So I always think about how to cherish the things that you have. Just life in general, because there were others who I'm pretty sure would have enjoyed to live their lives, but they're not here today. They're not here today with us. So I don't take things for granted, and for the most part.
Right. And so you referred to your friend Stephen, who's the friend that Stephen. My apologies.
That's all right. I know it's spelled Stephen. So yeah.
It's okay, right? And so your firstborn son is named after him. Is that right?
Right. It's crazy because I look at him and he looks exactly like me. So he's like, man, I should have gave him my name. But like he like, cause he had, like, I remember one time he's like, Dad, I look just like you. Why don't I have your name? And I had to sit him down and explain where his name comes from. And he like, so he actually respects that. And like, he actually motivates me. Like my son is, I think, is like mature way beyond his times. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's certain things that I've been want to do, and he'd be like, nah, Dad, that's just, and he's like only 13 years old. So like, yeah, he knows where he knows where his name comes from. My best friends, his family and his mother, they love that I gave him that, passed that name on to him. And like I said, when I like speak his name, it reminds me of me growing up with my childhood friend, and the right path we want. Because like with my best friend Stephen, we were never really into the streets. We known plenty of our friends around us who were, but like Stephen, like we was like actually like we used to like literally geeks. Like we'll be in the house. But my thing was always technology, like computers, games, and sports and things of that nature. I wasn't really into the whole trying to hang with this crowd or be with this gang and things of that nature. And like he was a year older than me, so when I seen that when he had graduated high school, went straight to the military, it made me. It actually gave me some insight on what I need to do in my life and what I wanted to do. So I always think about him to this day. Like he passed away December 12th of 2004, but like I still remember a lot of things quite clearly that that we spoke upon, and like I said, I miss him to this day. But I feel like it's my responsibility just to go out there and help others who may have lost. Like I spoke to people who've lost relatives through the same manner of cancer, or military Marines who lost children through SIDS, such as myself. So like I said, I just feel like I'd rather do more good in life than be known for winning a title or make how much money you can make in your career. I think there's bigger things in life that you can do with your time.
Mm-hmm. speaking of loss, there's so much that counters that and gain. I heard that you spent quite a bit of time with like Dragon Ball Z, is that right?
Yeah.
And your daughter, who enjoys that? Tell us more about that and segue that into your other children and then your mission with Special Olympics.
Oh, well, my oldest daughter, thank God, she's more into like her Star Wars and her, her anime.
Okay, I'm liking that.
She just me and her mother just started allowing her to date. So, but she knows her boundaries, and she's also upfront and honest, but she really loves when I'm home because that's when we we spend a lot of time together, and we like for me, she's like pretty much like one of the guys at times, but she still has her feminine side with her as well. But yeah, my daughter Cameron is great. She does well in school. She does what she's asked. She doesn't she never brings an attitude like she's 16 years old, but she still comes from that respecting her elders type mindset. And then, like I said, we already spoke about my son Stephen. Definitely loves into school. Like this kid, summer vacation, he wants to do schoolwork. It wasn't me. It definitely wasn't me. But we may look alike, but we are definitely two different individuals. Like he's, but I I'm cool with that. I say, hey, I'd rather have you keep your head in them books and you worry about other things at the time. And then, then we have my junior, and like he's just like me, like when I was his age, like always wanted to clown around. He's the one into like the video games and things of that nature. But he's a good kid. Like it's times when like all he wants to do is just joke and play around, and I have to hey, man, come on, man, can we chill out? Like, but yeah,
comedian.
Real comedian. I swear, if I don't get a call from his mother every week about something while I'm going, something's wrong, But for the most part, he knows his boundaries as well, and like I said, I love him to death. But then, like I said, here comes Jasmine, who's like literally always my right hand. I'm like, if you see like on social media, she's always up under me.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's I think she recently scored the highest in her class, and like I said, she's autistic, but she it's crazy because like she can be very hyper at times, but when it comes to school, I love the fact that she takes her schoolwork very seriously. I mean, this is a true story. She had took a state test, and she did it so fast that at first they thought she cheated because when her scores came back, they were so high, and it was just like, wait, how did she do
no way.
Yeah, like no way. But like when they started testing her more, they started seeing that like she's at a higher level than her peers in her school. So and right now she's into cheerleading and gymnastics. So I'm happy to keep her in this because like, she's so hyper. She has so much energy that we got to keep her busy. And then there's my youngest Justice. We call her Juju, but right now. She was, like I said, she was the one that gave us the real scare because for her first 2 years, 2 months when she was born, she was living like the first 2-3 months she was in the hospital because she was born very prematurely, and to the point where they didn't think she was gonna make it at one point in time. But here she is now, and when I look at her, I always say to myself like, man, she's been fighting since day one. I can get through a 12-round fight and and be okay and not complain because like I said, like she'll be 4 now next month, and like I said, she's still learning how to talk, but she's very smart. Like it's to the point where I think she's too smart for her own good because like she knows, like she can't speak it, but like she'll do stuff like, and once you buy her, she'll do stuff like this. And then point
she's
like
speaking in other ways as she's speaking.
Yeah, so that's good enough for me. Like now she's starting to like speak a little bit more, and she knows her colors and things of nature. But like sometimes, like I swear, like she's the reason why I said I don't want to have any more because like she is too bossy. Like if she doesn't have her way, she'll definitely let you know. If she wants something, she'll definitely let you know. And it's like you just never know which justice you'll get during that day or so. But like I said, every one of them, they play a big part in what I do, both in and out the gym. So like I said, I'm just grateful to be where I'm at.
They've said some fighters you love for what they can do in the ring, a sublime skill perhaps, or an aptitude for devastation. Then there are others, as Mark Krigel has said, even more rare, that you come to love for what they represent. You should be recognized as the latter. What do you represent?
For me, I just say, like, I represent people. I represent anyone out there who's been told that they couldn't do something, and but you want to prove them wrong. I'm the underdog, no matter, like, say, in life in general. That's how I look at it. But I always tell people, just because you're labeled as something doesn't mean that you have to prove them right. You can at the end of the day, you can write your own chapter. You can form your own entire story. The way you set out the plan. And so, like, that's just who I am. Like, me and my trainers, we speak all the time about just life in general, and we sit back and, like, sometimes we sit back and laugh how they expected us to do this, but we proved them wrong and we did this. And the same thing goes for with my family. Like, even my siblings, I tell them now, they look at the things that I'm doing, but I tell them, like, listen, it wasn't easy, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it. So, I play a big role in my family. And on top of that, I'm the oldest of my siblings, so I feel like I had to play that that big brother role and set the ways. But yeah, I mean, for me, I just represent those who if you show me love, I get that same love and respect back to you. I mean, like I said, I've been in the military. It's no secret that I fought overseas twice, whatever. But I got friends. I don't look to have things how they place on the media and the stereotype. Like, I got close friends that are Muslims. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? Hey, I respect what you believe in. Just give me that same respect what I believe in. I've grown up with friends of different ethnicities, like, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian. I don't really care for that. Like, for me, like I said, all I care about, you give me that same respect, I'm gonna give you that. I don't judge you. I'm not gonna judge you based on what you believe in, or your language, or your skin color. If anything, I judge people off of character. So, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like I said, like, I just represent anyone who gives me that same respect. I represent them as well, especially if they show me love and believe in me. I greatly appreciate that.
Well, we thank you for the love, and we thank you for your service. We thank you for your service in the ring, and we thank you for your work with Special Olympics and USA Boxing, and for who you are and who you represent to the youth. I don't think that we could have asked for a better champion to come visit us for our first podcast of the year.
Thank you.
So, Jamel, how can we find you on social media? If we need to do some more research, we want to find you, or we want to show you some love.
Oh, and like I said, before we finish that, like, you mentioned Special Olympics. I just want to say, shout out to Special Olympics. What they're doing is tremendous. They're giving, I love to see things of that nature. They're treating everyone with an even playing field, and I love that. No matter what challenges they may go through, I love to see those individuals and those still get up every day and smile and still fight for what they believe in. And it was great actually speaking with some of the athletes over there, because, like I said, some people may look down and feel sad for them, but for them, they're just as just happy as they could be, and they're just grateful to get the opportunity to try something that they always loved and respected. So much respect to everyone in the Special Olympics. But if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jamel Herring. I keep it very simple. It's all
Me too.
together. Keep it all simple. But like I say, Marquis can tell you as well. People who know me, who interact with me on social media, I don't do the whole diva approach. If you speak to me, I speak back. If you reach out, I try my best to reach out to you. So yeah, it's all, like I said, it's all love from me. But hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Jamel Herring, and I appreciate you all.
Absolutely, we appreciate you. Marquis, how can we find you and your article on Jamel?
Absolutely. You can find me at bigfightweekend.com or on Twitter and Instagram. Actually, I haven't followed the Instagram. I need to update that. At Weak Sauce Radio as well.
Okay, and thank you. And you can find us here, The Making of Champions, every week. Look for us at Joe Louis Bourbon. Thank you so much, and good night.
Thank you.